Alrighty, we are live. A little later than anticipated, but we made it. We were live. We had tons of meetings today. We were busy all day today working on different stuff, getting stuff ready. Oh boy, can't tell you how busy we are here. We are here at Bat in the Sun, always working on 1,000 different things, getting ready for future beatdowns, future projects, working on Legend of the White Dragon. Had a great meeting with Batch today, who is in Legend of the White Dragon. So it was pretty cool, guys. But today's topic is, who is the best Spider-Man actor? Who is it? Get your votes in right now. Say who it is. Who do you think it is? Who do you think is the best actor to ever play Spider-Man? Let's see. I have my opinion.
Well, who's our nominations?
Well, we got 3 nominations, I think. You know, you got the 3 obvious ones: Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. Now, of course, you have, I believe it's Nicholas Hammond, who did the voice of the 90s Spider-Man show. I forget the name of the actor who did the 70s show. I don't know if you watched a lot of the 70s show with Spider-Man. It was kind of a weird live-action Spider-Man show, kind of around the time of the Lou Ferrigno Hulk. And, you know, he had Thor and Iron Man and Daredevil all appeared on that show, if you didn't know that. And then, of course, what you grew up with, the 60s cartoon show. But the main people that people know of are obviously is Tobey, Andrew, and Tom Holland. So we're going to go over, you know, I mean, obviously, and there's a ton of people that did the voice. So there's been a lot of Spider-Man animations just recently. But I think the answer is not as clear. I think it's a more, you know, diluted answer, unlike Christopher Reeve as Superman. I think Christopher Reeve as Superman is the, you know, he's the.
So we might be more split.
We'll be more split on this one. I think ultimately, spoilers to give away the ending of this chat. I think ultimately, if you combine all 3, I think that is where you want to be for who is the best Spider-Man. There are elements from each one of them, but we're going to go over and dissect what was good about each one of them and why we like them, why I like them. So also, guys, if you want to chime in and you have your questions read or answered or anything like that, I see a bunch of you guys are just flooding the chat. And it's I always prioritize super chats. So super chat with a question or comment, suggestion, or Joker shout out. And I'll say whatever you want as Joker. But let's get into each one. Now, do you have a preference right off the bat? Who do you think who is your favorite? Because you grew up being a big Spider-Man fan. You got all the Spider-Man comics right here.
I was happy to see Tobey Maguire because we never had a Spider-Man ever in live action.
All right.
You know, so right away I love Tobey. But as time has gone on, I kind of like Tom Holland.
You like Tom Holland, but my favorite's Andrew Garfield though. I think maybe not. I don't know.
Well, let's see what the fans think.
Well, the fans are all over, but most of them. Andrew gets the least amount of love. And I think it's because his movies are kind of wonky. But I think Tobey's overrated. Hate to say it, guys. I'm not a huge Tobey fan. We'll start with Tobey, all right? Let's go back to Spider-Man number 1, 2002. Willem Dafoe. So when this movie was announced, this was a big deal for all of us comic book fans. Almost 20 years ago, hard to believe. I was still in high school, so it was a big deal. I remember when they released that first picture of Tobey in the suit. Probably was a stunt actor. Probably definitely was not Tobey, and it was cool. Who I think has the best Spider-Man costume? Definitely, I think is definitively Tobey. The way they designed it, the way that he had those silver kind of reflective webs. I think Tobey, by far and away, without a doubt, has the best Spider-Man suit. They also have the kind of like the webbing to them. Andrew Garfield had a very accurate comic suit in the second movie, but they were squares. They weren't those like kind of like, they didn't have that curvature to them. And I hated that. That was something that design-wise didn't sit with me. I think Tom Holland has a lot of weird Spider-Man outfits. I don't think any of them are really, they don't really hit the mark. They're all not bad, but they don't hit the mark the way that, you know, Tobey's or I think Andrew Garfield's. And Andrew Garfield's, the first movie of his Amazing Spider-Man series, I thought was cool. I hated the gold lenses, but I enjoyed the uniqueness of the suit. I thought that was cool, that kind of basketball texture. But if I had white, I'd love to see it with white lenses. I think it would have been pretty cool. Now, for those who don't know, I used to be Stan Lee's official Spider-Man, and when he would do appearances, I would be his guy, and I was fitted for the Tobey Maguire suit, which I like. They obviously had to make it a lot bigger for me because
Right behind him.
Yeah, I was right behind. Yeah, when he would sign, I was the Spider-Man, and I would vamp with Stan Lee. That's how we got Stan Lee on the show. So I personally like the Tobey Maguire costume. I think that's the best outfit out there. I think Andrew had the best physique, though. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I doubled him and did all his motion capture for the video games. Him and me are similarly built. Andrew is 6 foot, 165, so pretty close to what I am. I think he's actually made 5'11" and a half, and I'm 6 foot and a half. But we're pretty close. Toby is tiny, and Andrew Garfield is even tinier. I know this because, luckily enough, I went to the Spider-Man premiere, which is pretty cool. The original, the 2002 Spider-Man premiere.
You rode in the limousine.
I rode in the limousine with Danny Elfman, friends with his daughter. I've met Danny many times. I've been to his house quite a few times and hung out. So I actually got to, here's a cool story. I always forget these. I do a lot of cool things, and I forget them because I do so many cool things that gets kind of mixed into it. I actually had the privilege of being at the scoring session when Danny Elfman was scoring the opening theme to Spider-Man. I got to watch him do that, which is pretty cool. And they actually brought in an IV drip into his arm because he was so busy working, he didn't have time to eat. So they just gave him nutrients through an IV drip.
That's crazy.
I know. That's how you know. That's how you know. Also, he got his tattoo touched up too when he was in there. Strange guy, cool guy, talented guy, strange guy. I can tell you some really interesting, weird stories about his house, but in a great way though. He has all his pets taxidermied, and in one of the rooms, he has like all
taxidermy.
Yeah, he has all his.
That's when you get your animal, your pet stuff.
Yeah, but he loves his pets. He's a real big animal lover, and I kind of, that sounds like weird to a lot of people, but I thought it was kind of cool though. I like that he did that because he loved his pets. Anyways. DJ, what's up? DJ comes in with our first super chat of the night, and he says, "Truth be told, I'm not trying to stroke your ego, but you probably are the most comic book accurate Spider-Man. You and Andrew are my favorites." Well, thanks, DJ. I appreciate that. I put a lot of work into being Spider-Man. I've been playing Spider-Man for a long time. I was Stan Lee's Spider-Man for a very long time. And as far as personality-wise, I relate most to Spider-Man, more so than Superman or Joker or Batman or any other characters I play. Not that I play Superman or Batman, but those are my favorite characters. I will show you something really cool here. You hold on one moment. I'm going to walk in my room. I'm going to leave camera. Don't disappear. I'm going to show you guys something really cool that you guys probably never seen before. Just to prove the validity, because you'd be like, Aaron's full of it. He's a liar. Stay right there. You can still hear me, though. I'm right here, though. I promise. I'm right here. All right. Here we go. So this is a proof that I'm not lying, because I do cool things. Check this out. This is the actual premiere ticket to Spider-Man the movie. It's this kind of like plastic. See right there, it shows the date on it, and it shows the time, shows my seat. So this right here is the actual premiere ticket to the first Spider-Man movie. And what a funny story is this actually is Danny Elfman's ticket, even furthermore, which is kind of cool because, or no, this is, I forget the story. It's so long ago. So we all basically, so here's what it is. Here's the story. We rode in the limousine with Barry Sonnenfeld, who directed Men in Black and was a cinematographer on When Harry Met Sally. Anyways, it was me, Danny, my friend John, who was in Batman Beyond, Molly, his daughter, and then Danny. The five of us in the.
You went to high school with his daughter.
I went to high school and middle school with his daughter. That's how I got to know her, and I was friends with her long before I even knew that her dad was Danny Elfman. But anyways, Molly's super cool. And it was really a lot of fun palling around with Molly and John, who we ran into at the Justice League premiere because Danny Elfman did the score for that. Anyways, so what happened is that we went to the premiere of the movie, and then we went to the after party. But we went to the premiere. I think they only had 4 tickets. Or no, he lost one of the tickets. That's what it is. He lost one of his tickets, so we only had 4 out of the 5 tickets. And we were like, "Oh my gosh, we don't have tickets." And he was like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" So he basically gave us the 4 tickets. Me, Molly, John, and Barry Sonnenfeld. And then, so we all went in, and then he walked up, and they didn't have his ticket. And they're like, "Sir, you don't have your ticket." And he was like, "I'm Danny Elfman." And then they let him in. So that's kind of like
he could use his name to get in.
He could use his name to get in. So that was like a funny story. But then, so then we sat next to Bill Paxton and his dad. Bill Paxton was in Tombstone. Bill Paxton was, of course, he's in Titanic. He's in Terminator. He's in Commando. He's in Aliens. He's been in a bunch of different things. He sadly passed away a few years ago, but he sat right next to his father, and his father was Willem Dafoe, Norman Osborn's butler in the film. And Bill was super, super nice, and he was really, really excited that his dad was in the film. So it was really cool. It was a very great, cool experience. Met Toby, met the whole cast that night. That's what I was saying. When I met Toby, he was a lot smaller than I thought he would be. He walked right past me, totally didn't notice him, and then I was like, oh, his shoulders were like this wide. He's like Marilyn Monroe. A lot of people didn't know he has very small shoulders.
It's a movie he was in.
It's a movie. I was quoting him about saying something else. That was a reference within a reference. That
was referencing Wonder Boys.
Wonder Boys, yeah.
With Tobey Maguire and Robert Downey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man and Iron Man in the same film.
Yeah. So what a trip. And Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man. So yeah. So, but anyways, so that was how my experience with the Tobey movies. I think the costume was great. I think it was really cool and revolutionary for its time. I think looking back on it, part of the movie has not aged super well. It's a little corny, but in a wonderful way. I was not a fan of Kristen Dunst. She was not the right choice for Mary Jane. I don't think she wasn't a stunning bombshell in the way that you picture Mary Jane to be, because Mary Jane is. It's funny, you can argue subjectively if a lot of superhero women should be really, really hot or not, just because they're all drawn that way. But Mary Jane is supposed to be like a model, like a Victoria's Secret super hot model. And I don't think
that's why she says you won the jackpot.
You just face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot. And they didn't really, I don't think they really hit that. Also, Toby was not. Here's my biggest critique. This is the biggest critique we're going to get into for the night. Also, guys, once again, I see you guys doing a ton of comments and everything like that. But like I said, super chat. And if you want me to answer any of your questions or go over any suggestions you might have, I always prioritize those. But I felt like Toby was not funny enough. He was not witty enough. Spider-Man is witty. Spider-Man is witty. Jamal Breezy says hashtag don't tell Harry. That's funny. I like that reference. That's a good one. For those who know, you know. And for those who like the original films, you know. Thanks, Jamal, with your Nightwing shirt on. I always comment on that. The scripts were just, they weren't witty enough. So that's Toby's version. All three of them, he just wasn't witty. He was kind of, stilted. Yeah, more whiny. He cried a lot. Boy, did he cry a lot. I'm surprised his goggles, his lenses didn't fog up in that mask. Plus, you have to remember, guys, Toby is only in the suit maybe 10% of the time. 10%. Maybe only 10%. Because why? It's a stuntman or CGI. But Toby wasn't funny. I think, and now the way that I played Spider-Man, I just kept talking. To me, Spider-Man just won't shut up. And when you read the comics, that's kind of how he is. Toby was just not witty enough. That was really a big thing for me. I feel like the 90s animation was really witty. I like that a lot. I feel like that was the best characterization, although that was one thick Spider-Man back in the 90s. I felt that Andrew was definitely he's the most witty out of all the Spider-Man actors, but he has kind of a little bit, he's kind of an ass about it. And I don't like Spider-Man having that, that attitude the way he does. That's more of a Tony Stark sort of thing. But I think Andrew was the most witty. I think Tom is funny, but he's like awkward funny. And that awkward funny has gotten kind of old because he's just always constantly awkward, like the whole time. And I would like for him to be more witty. So I think if you take the awkwardness of Tom and you take the wittiness of Andrew and you take the heart of Toby and you put them all together, you have your definitive Spider-Man. So I don't think we've really had a definitive Spider-Man. I know a lot of you love Toby or Andrew because you grew up with them, so that's what you're attached to. But I feel like we still, Haven't really had it. I can see how some of you, though, it's funny because I see a lot of love for Toby and Andrew and Tom, but I also see a lot of hate, though. People saying they hate Tom Holland or they hate Tobey Maguire, and I could see that. I don't think there's a clear winner like there is with Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve is definitive. Spider-Man, we go all day on which one's the best. Now, who had the best movies? Honestly, I think that's a hard one to say too, because I think Spider-Man 2 is maybe the best with Tobey. But I'll tell you, ready guys? I'm gonna go out on I'm gonna surprise you all right here. I'm gonna tell you. You know what Spider-Man movie I think is the best? Here we go. What Spider-Man movie is the best? You're gonna hate me for this, and I'm gonna prove my point, and then you're gonna totally understand me.
In the multiverse?
Into the Spider-Verse? No, I don't think that's the best Spider-Man movie. It's also animated, so I don't know if I'd count that. But I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie out of all of them. Boom. Why is that? Why do I think that? Why do I think the most hated Spider-Man movie, the lowest rated Spider-Man movie, is the best Spider-Man movie? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when you define the different characters, all right, Batman's always on a mission, right? Batman's a mission-oriented person. Superman is a savior. That's what he is. Tony Stark and Reed Richards are scientists. But what is Peter Parker? What is Spider-Man? He's a lover. That's what he is. He's a lover. He has a big heart. He's relatable. And that's why I said that about Tobey. Tobey's heart was good in there. But the reason why I say Spider-Man 2 is because the relationship, the connection that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone developed, Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, was the most real, emotionally deep arc out of any of the relationships that Spider-Man has had in any of his movies. Tom Holland with his No Way Home and Homecoming, they're very light. They're very fluffy. There's not a lot of depth to those movies in terms of really trying to do something. They're all kind of fun, superhero-y movies, okay? But Andrew Garfield, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but you really should have seen it. When Gwen Stacy dies at the end of that movie, and he's holding her and he's crying, that's one of the few times in all of superhero movies I teared up a little bit. I felt his pain. I felt that was a real moment. And for that moment, I say that movie is the best Spider-Man movie because that death, and you read that when that was real. You remember reading that when it was hot off the newsstands. We have it right over here, the original death of Gwen Stacy. That moment in the film and the relationship and the chemistry between, they were really dating in real life, which added to that, was what makes Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think, the best Spider-Man movie. Now, having said that, Amazing Spider-Man 2 may also be the worst Spider-Man movie, but because there's almost weird stuff in there with the Rhino and Electro and Green Goblin, his son, but Green Goblin's dad is dying. That movie was so convoluted, and they cut Mary Jane out of it. That movie was a mess. It was a super mess. But despite all that, the number one storyline that they had to get right throughout those two films, they got it right. And I think that's the best film out there. I think it's the best one, guys. You can try to prove me wrong, but as far as the emotional complexity and depth that showed off Spider-Man's true love and what defines his character, Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, knocked it out of the park. Boom. Not the best villains, but the best emotional arc. So that's what it is, guys. I say Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, maybe it's the best arc, but not the best movie.
But I think the arc is what defines what is the best. It's the most savory, emotional moment. I think that's what it is. So I think the Sony movies, the most recent Sony movies with Tom have been kind of fluff. Now, villains who I enjoyed, Michael Keaton as the Vulture, phenomenal, loved him. I'd say him and Willem Dafoe are the two best. They're the two best, love them. And then Doc Ock, Molina, he's also fantastic. Those would probably be the best ones right there. As far as like best, yeah. But who was also in Chocolat, which is a great movie with Johnny Depp if you haven't seen it. That's my favorite movie of his. Sorry, Doc Ock. I was really hoping they get Elton John to play Spider-Man because he looks just like it. Who's ever had that thought before that Elton John looks like Doc Ock or Doc Ock looks like Elton John? All I want to see is Doc Ock with his 8 arms at the piano. That's all I want to see.
Well, he can play 4 pianos at once.
Boom. Hold me close, Peter Parker. That's what I want. So, I don't know. That's what I want to see. But what do you guys think? Who do you think is the best villain? I think would have been real interesting, but weird. But interesting, but weird was James Cameron's original Spider-Man movie that he cast Leonardo DiCaprio as Spider-Man and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Doc Ock. I don't know why they cast Arnold as these scientists. It's kind of strange, but I think James could have made it work. I love when James works with Arnold. I think that's always pretty cool. But I think they could be pretty strange. Like I said, guys, if you want to see, if you want me to do any, answer any questions or get our suggestions or throw them out there, we could talk Beatdown, and then we could talk about, we did Spider-Man on Beatdown, which is like kind of almost unofficial Spider-Man because we had Stan Lee in the episode who approved it, who was kind of gave it, advice and different things. So the creator of it was in it, and he loved it. He loved my version of Spider-Man, which is really cool. I had done a lot of appearances with Stan Lee as Spider-Man, and so it was pretty exciting to have Stan in there. Stan actually went back later for a Beatdown, but sadly passed away.
The newspaper prop.
Yeah, after we shot them, we're gonna do a whole little video about us shooting with Stan that day. But he kept the magazine or the newspaper prop.
Yeah.
And that was a fun day because we came in, we talked with Stan, and he was very easy. He's busy, but easygoing, and he told him the lines. You told him the lines, what to say, and we did it a few times. We're like, all right, Stan, we got it. And Stan's like, no, I can do it again. I can do it better. So we're like, all right. And he's like, can I improv and change the line? We're like, you can do whatever you want, Stan. You're Stan Lee. You can do whatever you want. So he did it. He did it. Noisy kids, keep it down. You wouldn't want me to come up there. So, and then boom, that was it. We had it, and Stan Lee went into it. And I tell you what, Stan Lee didn't think highly enough of the Netflix Marvel shows to make a cameo, but he thought highly enough of our work and my Spider-Man to be in our Beatdown. So we take that as a huge win. That's a big W. So I'd be curious what you guys think of my characterization of Spider-Man was, having officially done the games, as officially worked with Stan Lee. I can't put my name, obviously, in the same bucket as these three, of course. But as someone who's worked pretty closely with the Spider-Man world, I think I have a pretty close and well-educated opinion. Also, someone who has read a bunch of Spider-Man. All of Straczynski's run, all of Todd McFarlane's run, all of John Romita and John Romita Jr.'s run, all the Ultimate Spider-Man with Michael Bendis when that first came out. I read that when that was hot off the presses. Having watched all the 90s show, all the Civil War, Brand New Day, Kraven's Last Hunt, Sinister Six, Maximum Carnage, the whole Spider-Man Clone Wars. Having read all of that, and even that's I've read more than that, but that's a lot. But then also my dad, who's read all the Spider-Man from the 70s and the stuff like that. So I have a lot of Spider-Man knowledge that's been baked in here. Anyways, LQ Family comes in with a super chat and says, after watching the trailer for No Way Home, who do you think will be the main villain in that film? Ooh, well, I know some things that I probably shouldn't know because spoilers. I don't know if you guys want spoilers. That might ruin. That might get you down. But I do know certain things because I work in the industry. Do you guys want to hear some spoilers for that? Does that ruin it for you guys? I don't want to do that for you guys. But so for all the people that are hoping that thinking certain characters are going to return,
who do you think is going to be the villain?
Who do you think is going to be the villain? Well, it's a big. There's a big plan. There's a big plan. They want to have more and more people in it. Jamie Foxx, Willem Dafoe, Michael Keaton, and of course Alfred Molina. So Sony is planning some really big things, and if they can get to what they want to do, it'll be very, very exciting, guys. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait for Andrew and Toby and Tom to share the screen together. It's going to be awesome. Omar comes in with a super chat and says Spider-Man should never look up to the Avengers or Tony. That's what I don't like about Tom's portrayal or the webhead. I agree. So here's the weird thing is I think that the DCU and the MCU have the same problem, is that Spider-Man was introduced way later. It's like you had the whole Avengers and you had all of them, and then then Spider-Man shows up, and it's like he's too young. He's not at their level. Like Tony Stark and Peter Parker should be at the same level as far as credibility in their own universes, and you didn't really have that. Just like, for some reason, Batman had been around for 20 years before Superman showed up in the DCU. There's not on that equal balance. So I agree with you, Omar. I don't like that. Spider-Man is always the center, the original, the heart of the Marvel Universe, and for some reason he kind of came in after. And now he basically just like Tony designed his suit. He did this for him. I don't really like a lot of that. So I agree with you, Omar. I'm with you on that. And then Nelson comes in with a super chat and says you should be Spider-Man in the Sony Spider-Man universe. That would be super cool. I would greatly appreciate that. And I'll be honest with you, I guess, and if they did enough dimensions, they did 20 dimensions out. I guess you could count me in there because I was officially Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 games, as well as basically doing Spider-Man in our beatdown and having Stan Lee sanction and also having worked for Marvel and being Stan's official Spider-Man. So I do get, I guess, a little bit of that tangible official energy that sits with me as Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. I'm just proud and blessed to have been a part of that. Also, guys, if you super chat for more than $10, I write your name on these little stickies here, and I put them on my forehead, which is kind of fun. Put them on right there. Anyways, I definitely, I would love for you guys to watch. I'm sure you've already seen it, but definitely check out the Spider-Man. We did Spider-Man versus Darth Maul, and throw that out there and let me know what you think and see how ours was. Also, Mysterio, yes, we'll be back in the new one. It's going to be great. You have Jake Gyllenhaal. You have Alfred Molina, you have Willem Dafoe, you have Michael Keaton. It's a Jamie Foxx. It's an all-star cast, guys. It's an all-star cast. I can't wait to check it out and watch it. It's gonna be pretty cool. So, who do you guys think is your favorite Spider-Man? And also, who do you think is your favorite Spider-Man villain that has appeared in it? Do you have a favorite, Dad? Who's your, like, as far as watching it?
Favorite villain?
Yeah, like
the movies?
Yeah, one that you like the most.
I like the Rhino.
The Rhino? No, you don't like the Rhino. I like the actor who played the Rhino, but you don't like the Rhino. Was in it for 2 seconds.
That's why I was excited just to see him.
Oh my gosh, in his big mech suit. Yeah. Yes, Michael Keaton is coming back. Willem Dafoe is coming back. But I want to see a scene with Willem Dafoe and Michael Keaton. But I would like for them to be dressed up as Batman and the Joker. I would like that. That would be cool. Willem Dafoe would be such a great Joker. If I could cast anyone to play the Joker in a big movie, I would cast myself second. I'd cast Willem Dafoe first. Willem Dafoe is far superior. He's just better all around. Yeah. Willem Dafoe that's a huge missed opportunity, and it makes me sad that he's never been the Joker. He should have been the Joker. But he'll be a really good one. But here's a question for you guys. Here's the question. Oh, Jonathan says, no, you should be the first. You should be first. And the Sandman coming back. Yes. That one I'm not 100% sure. I got to reach out to my people to see if they see it, but I believe it is. I kind of they talk, and I sometimes don't like spoilers, so sometimes I'll tell people like, they'll be like, hey, Aaron, they'll be like, you know who was on set today? And I was like, I just want to watch the movie. Let me just watch the movie. But then they'll say things, and I'll be like, fine, tell me. Aaron Lewis says, you got to audition to play the Joker in the Batman. You got to hashtag. Let them know. Let them know that you want me to be Joker on the thing. That would be cool.
You mentioned Venom?
Venom. I actually enjoyed the Venom movies, despite how kind of, not movies, Venom movie, and then they have Now Let There Be Carnage. And Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage. Weird choice. Woody Harrelson. I think he's like too old to be Venom, but but kooky enough. I think he's definitely kooky enough.
He's got the right kookiness.
He's got the right kookiness. I like the Venom movies, even though they're terrible. I always say the Venom movie is like watching like an 80s Arnold movie. You know it's not good, but it's like it's so entertaining though, but it's not good though. But it's entertaining. But what I hate about the Venom movies is that they're not the origin is not tied into Spider-Man, which is like, I want the Venom on his chest. I want black suit, Spider-Man, and we don't get any of that. Didn't get any of that, and that made me mad. Yes, I'm glad they ditched the bad wig. But who would you guys like to see Spider-Man fight on a beatdown? If we did a future beatdown with Spider-Man, which, by the way, Spider-Man was the hardest character for us to do because in the movies, he's all CGI. He's all CGI. But we did not do that. We only had CGI Spider-Man for like 4 or 5 shots. Most of the time, it was Yoshi Sudarsu, who was the Blue Ranger on Dino Thunder Power Rangers, doing all that amazing flipping and spinning and beat twisting and all that kind of stuff. I was Spider-Man on the ground, doing a lot of the movement. But as far as soon as Spider-Man left the ground, as soon as his feet left the ground, that was Yoshi, who I can't say enough great things about, acrobatic-wise or stamina-wise, because good golly, that he did 1,000 flips back-to-back, man. That dude has some strong legs. Anyways, what is the best Spider-Man series? What is the best Spider-Man animated series? Well, I'm going to have to go with the 90s one. That one is the one I grew up with. But I tell you what's an underrated one, what I really enjoyed, but it was shown out of order. It was shown on a weird channel, and that's the one that Doogie Howser did the voice of Spider-Man for, and that is the MTV Spider-Man, which was kind of supposed to go along the lines with the movie. I really enjoyed the MTV Spider-Man. I thought the characterizations, that's what Toby should have been. That Spider-Man was very, very funny. I thought that was a very, very witty Spider-Man. And the animation style was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Now, my dad grew up with the 60s Spider-Man show, which is the definitive Spider-Man show, especially that's where the theme came from. Love the MTV one. Now, who wrote the Spider-Man theme song? Because he was a very accomplished writer, though.
Yes.
What else did he write? He also wrote some a lot.
He wrote Love is a Many Splendid Thing.
Love is a Many Splendid Thing. And that's a really well-written song. If you haven't heard, that's an old standard, big band jazz standard. But he wrote The Amazing Spider-Man, which is why it's so catchy and why it still lives on to this day. Jamal Breezy comes in with a super chat and says, Deadpool versus Freakazoid. That'd be a good one. Both of the crazy red people. I think Freakazoid would out weird Deadpool, I'll be honest with you. I think he could out-weird him. I don't know if he would, but I definitely think he'd out-weird him. Someone is making season 2 for the, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But anyways, guys, Aaron, is Spider-Man your favorite hero? So I find myself, I relate to Spider-Man the most, personality-wise. He loves his family. He tries to work hard, do right by everyone, overextends himself. He's kind of, my height and build. So I relate to Spider-Man the most. But no, Spider-Man is not my favorite superhero. This guy is. Not this guy, who is me, but this guy.
Who?
It's Batman. Batman's my favorite. Batman's my favorite, followed by Superman. Those are my 2 favorites. But I think if you ask Spider-Man who his favorite superheroes are, he would say Batman and Superman. You'll notice that we do have a Spider-Man poster over here, which is actually for our episode where we did do Spider-Man vs. Darth Maul. And yes, that is Stan Lee right there.
Is it too small?
It's hard to tell, but that's Stan Lee right there on the poster. And it is actually on the poster officially with it. We were thinking about making these available, making this poster and this poster available in our store. Is this something that you guys would want to acquire? Would you want to acquire that in our store? That might be kind of cool, right? All right. Usai 151 comes in with a super chat over $10, which means you're going to get on my forehead. You're going to use this big billboard space right here. I don't have as much billboard landscape as Peyton Manning does, but I got enough for a few Post-its.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, Peyton.
Be nice.
I am nice to Peyton. I like Peyton. I think Peyton's the 3rd greatest quarterback of all time. Hey, to finish with bronze, a lot of people are happy with bronze. Here we go. Put this on the forehead here. There you go. Legendary. Here we go. All right, so Toby was hella lackluster, and I blame that on Sam Raimi's portrayal. Toby was he's inadvertently funny. You don't laugh with him, you laugh at him. Also Spectacular Spider-Man is the best portrayal altogether. That's the animated show, Spectacular Spider-Man. I agree that show is pretty good. I can't really disagree and say that you're wrong on that. I think a lot of the Spider-Man animated shows were really, really good. You had Ultimate Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Man the Animated Series, and the MTV Spider-Man, and of course the original 60s Spider-Man. He has had 5 different Spider-Man shows, and honestly, they're all pretty solid. They're all pretty solid. I really enjoyed all of them, and I think they nailed his personality pretty accurately. And I agree with you. I felt Toby was very lackluster. He just was kind of like, I cried like a baby. I'm sad all the time.
That's when we laughed at him.
Yeah, and you didn't, like, he was always like, I just didn't feel it. I like the edge that Andrew brought. Like I said, there are parts of Toby that I like. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating all of Toby. But I don't think he is definitively the best. He is not the way that Christopher Reeve is the Superman. But he is, you did a great job summing that up, Yusai. He is lackluster, and that is kind of Sam Raimi's kind of style. I think that if you had a script that made Toby a little funnier, he only has one funny line where he's actually trying to be quippy, and it's when he webs J. Jonah and he says, quiet, the parents are talking or something like that. But that's so like, like there's a great line, and it's very subtle, but he did this all the time in the Spider-Man animation. It's when Spider-Man breaks into some facility, and there's a bunch of thugs, and I think Spider-Man, it's like during one of the Clone Wars, where there's a chameleon has copied Spider-Man, and one of the thugs was like, hey, there's 2 of them. And Spider-Man jumps through the air, and he's like, and they say the school system's failing. And then he like kicks both of them. He's just clever. He's throwing out witty jokes. That's what Spider-Man does. He's witty. I love it. And there's like so many funny things that Spider-Man talks to about like the villains. Like, you know, like I remember in Straczynski's run, he makes jokes. Like he's talking, there's a great, if you haven't read Straczynski's run, it's a great run. It's probably my favorite run on the Spider-Man series. It was late 90s, early 2000s. J. Scott Campbell did all the covers for them. It's great. It's before One New Day and the clone of Gwen Stacy was rolled out, which I wasn't a huge fan. I like One New Day. I didn't like the Gwen Stacy clone. I like when he was fighting Murland, and he had to he separated from MJ, and then he got back together with MJ, which showed why MJ was so important to him. But there's a great scene when he's talking with Loki on the roof, and Loki's going on all about like his mysticism and how he can invert reality, and he's explaining Merlin to him, and it cuts back to Spider-Man watching him, and then Loki's talking, and Spider-Man's watching him, and then Loki's going more and more depth, and it cuts back to Spider-Man, and Spider-Man goes, hey, I have a question. Do you want a hot dog? And it's hilarious. And then Loki looks at him, and then Spider-Man like looks back at him, and then Loki looks at him, and the next frame is the 2 of them sitting on the edge of the building eating hot dogs. And Spider-Man's like, I had a hard time comprehending what you were saying without enough nutrients in my body. Please continue. And it's just funny. I like that. Spider-Man takes this initiative to just be kind of funny. Another great moment is when he tries to explain why he doesn't have pockets. I think at one point, one of the characters gives him something. He's like, hold on to this. And Spider-Man's like, how am I going to do that? I have no pockets. I'm like, you have any pockets? He's like, no. He goes, I can't have Velcro on this suit. And he goes on this whole rant about how he can't have Velcro on a Spider-Man suit, which is really funny, actually. But that's very Spider-Man. And he's very witty, and he has like a lot of interesting way that he looks at the world. But I think that, you know, I'd have to give Andrew, I think, the best. I think is the best. But I'm not like firm on that. If you want to argue that Toby's better or that Tom Holland's better, I think they're all almost evenly tied. I think it's like almost a 3-way tie because they both have wonderful attributes. I honestly think though the best angles, the best coolest cinematography though goes to Andrew's movies. In terms of the way they filmed Spider-Man moving throughout the city and all that kind of stuff, I thought that was really cool. I think his villains were probably the worst though. He had the worst villains. He had the best love story. I already gave my rant on why I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie of all time with Andrew Garfield when he loses Gwen Stacy. Really felt that. That was impactful. Who had the best Spider? God rest her soul.
She did the animated series.
The Batman animated series, what she did, yeah. And then Tom Holland's score, it's all right. The best part of it is that they actually use the original Spider-Man theme from the cartoon, which is amazing because that is still da 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 da. That is still the definitive Spider-Man song. That one's wonderful. So I have to give it to. I have to. That's the best. I don't know. I'd probably give it to Danny Elfman's score, but just barely. Once again, all the Spider-Man films have been pretty good. They've all been pretty good, but not there yet, though. If you had to compare, if you compare all the Spider-Man's movies, the Superman's movies to Batman's movies, they're all pretty equal. You know who I think has the most definitively best, well done, most accurate, most enjoyable superhero adapted movie of all time, right out of the bat, first time's a charm, the first Ninja Turtles movie, definitively is perfect. It's funny. It has great fight scenes. The Turtles look super real. I forget those are even outfits. The chemistry and love story between April O'Neil and Casey Jones is flawless. The fight scenes are incredible. The cinematography feels super real. The story arc between Danny and his dad is wonderful. I can't tell you how great that movie is. Made on a low budget. The comedy, everything is amazing. I think that movie nailed the Ninja Turtles more than any of Batman's movies nailed Batman, any of the Spider-Man movies nailed Spider-Man, and any of the Superman movies nailed Superman in terms of a collective whole.
Are we changing this subject now?
Oh, are we changing it? No, the Ninja Turtles have shown up and they're overriding. They slice, they dice. And they don't pay full price for late pizza. It is so good. It is so good. Love, love, love the first Ninja Turtles. So anyways, that's my rant on that, and I'm sticking to it. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. I have so much collectibles from the first Ninja Turtles movie. The second one was meh. The second one didn't really quite hit the mark. But the first one is so awesome and it's so good. And it's crazy to think that the Ninja Turtles got a movie before Spider-Man. 12 years. 12 years. The first one, the first Ninja Turtles movie, the live action one. If you haven't seen it, be sure and see it. What is the best Spider-Man game? Well, I'm going to give you three answers here. Let me give you three answers what I think the best Spider-Man game is. The one that I played the most as a kid was Amazing Spider-Man. No, I'm sorry. Was Spider-Man 2, which was open world. Was it Spider-Man 2? No, it was the one for PlayStation 2, I think, or PlayStation 1. That was like the best one. It was the first open world Spider-Man game where you could swing around. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Hey, Yusai comes back in. He says, we'll get back to the Spider-Man game in a second. We're going to take the super chat. See, when you super chat, boom, you cut right to the front of the line. He says, actually, I'm a huge fan of Tom's, and I don't have enough money to explain. I don't have time to explain or money to explain why. Oh, okay. But the best Spider-Man film is Into the Spider-Verse. Miles is my guy. You know what? I could go with that. I think we really enjoyed when we saw Into the Spider-Man universe. I thought that was really cool. And what's funny is I think that did so well and was so good that that's what they're bringing into the live-action version with Tom Holland. I love the way that Spider-Man was characterized in there. I didn't put it into the category because it's not live-action, but it is a great Spider-Man movie. I felt the end of it almost got a little too weird for me.
But it was a feature film in the theaters.
It was a feature film in the theaters, and I did really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed the first half a lot. I felt the second half got super weird and very science fiction-y, but that's the point of it, so you can't really get mad at it. That's like being like, I went to a sushi place and they served me sushi. How dare they? So I thought it was good though. I enjoyed it. I've only seen it once, but I really enjoyed it though, and I enjoyed the music and the art style. It was very, very, very cool. But back to the Spider-Man games. Thanks for that super chat, by the way, Yusai. I would have to say one of the first open world Spider-Man game back in the late 90s is my favorite. Is my favorite game. Although in a weird way, I have to say what my favorite game is the one that I did the motion capture for, and that's Andrew Garfield's games. If you've ever played, who here has played the Amazing Spider-Man games? If you have, you've played as me. And if you go to the costume selection menu and you don't choose a costume right away, and he does this little dance thing he does, that was my idea, and that's me dancing as Spider-Man. Because I always used to do that.
Stand there and do nothing.
Yeah, if you just let him stand there and just don't touch the remote, he dances.
After about 20 seconds.
Yeah, who's seen Spider-Man dance in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game? Okay, so all of you guys who played it, everyone's saying me, me, me. I played it, me, me, me. What's up, Ronald? Me, 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 me. you're playing as me. That's me. And what's funny is when I showed it to my dad, he's like, that's so you in the Spider-Man outfit, the way that I have just a certain movement in the way that my body moves. Who here has seen the Spider-Man dance in that game? Who here has seen Spider-Man dance in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 game? In the costume selection, yeah. Who's seen it there?
It's like an Easter egg.
So a little Easter. Who's seen him dance in there? That's me. You've seen him dance. Everyone's saying, I've seen him dance. I've seen him dance. Well, that's me dancing. Now, what I will say is those games are not the best. I will not defend how great those games are. They're okay. They're obviously very sentimental to me because I had the giant script which I had to go through, which was really funny is because a lot of the people that worked on that movie had no idea a lot of things about Spider-Man, and they would try to explain, well, Aaron, Cletus Cassidy, I was like, I know who Cletus Cassidy is. You don't need to explain to me. And then what happened was as the shoot, because it was a long shoot of doing mocap, and they would basically see more cool stories that I forget about. But they would basically, you got any photos of you doing the CGI? I do. I've posted them online before. I do have them. Where is that? I do have some great mocap. I have to find them. I will find them, though. I will find them with me in the suit doing all the mocap and all that kind of stuff. I have all that. Thanks, Joseph, for that super chat. It was funny because after a while, I ended up explaining to everyone on the cast and crew all the characters were. It was just no. But it was fun explaining to everyone, who the different characters were and who Kingpin was and who all these characters were. Sloth come on and says, he just says, a bat in the sun is a brave scout for the tribe. That is what a bat in the sun is. And that is why we chose the name. He is basically what Sloth has come in here and said is he says what our name is defined with and or comes from. And that's what it is. Anytime you see a bat in the sun, it is one of the first bats out of the cave and is making sure, scouting the area, make sure it is safe. So it is the outliers, safe, brave, leader bat is what a bat in the sun is. Thank you for that super chat. Marvel Spidey says, can you tell us the whole story on how you did the motion capture for Spider-Man, the games? I can do that. Would you guys like to hear that whole story of how that all went down and basically how we went on about doing that? Also, for you guys who don't know, when they did the Marvel Zombies comic book run, the second run that they did, the Spider-Man was all drawn after me. So when you read those comic books, that's me. But I become Zombie Spider-Man, which is like, meh. So anyways, how I ended up doing, thank you. You saw, I remember, guys, if you do a super chat over $10, I will put you on my forehead. But so basically, I knew a stunt coordinator who was doing the Spider-Man games, and they had another stunt guy who was going to do this, who was going to be Spider-Man. And he broke his leg 2 weeks before shooting, and I knew the stunt coordinator, and he knew that I was Stan Lee's official Spider-Man and had done stunts and all that kind of stuff. So he gave me a call and he says, Aaron, are you free to do these games? I need you, can you block out the next, 2 months of your schedule to do this? And what's funny is that I was doing, this is how long ago this was, guys. When we were doing Wolverine versus Predator, I'm sure you all have seen our beatdown Wolverine versus Predator. We were shooting Wolverine versus Predator, and then, in between those days, I was going down and doing the motion capture for Spider-Man. So it was I was up so early. It was so early to do those games. I remember driving down at 6 in the morning, and I would sleep. This is really, so I get down there and I everyone's trying to give your intro. They give you huge scripts. For the guys that don't know, movies or video game scripts are gigantic. They're I don't even know. They're 300 pages. And I didn't really read it too much. I skimmed through it. I was like, okay, cool. I got it. And, I have a good memory. So what I did is that it's a lot to memorize in a week. I was given the script a week. I was kind of the last to get the script. So I get down there and they make sure everyone knows Spider-Man. And I was like, I know Spider-Man. And I'm going to, if you want to contest me on my Spider-Man knowledge, I will call Stan Lee right now and you can talk to him. Which, by the way, is the most ultimate, to pull rank on someone. When you get into a Spider-Man argument, I can't do that now because Stan Lee has sadly passed away. God bless him. But anytime someone would argue with me about Spider-Man, I would open my phone and I would scroll to Stan Lee's name and I was like, we can call Stan right now and he'll have my back. Who do you have as your lifeline, Regis? Who do you got? You got no one equal to Stan Lee. Anyways, so that was always my cool thing to throw out there. Joseph comes in with a super chat. He says, any plans to order food as Joker? I should, but they loved it. I should order food. I can maybe do that a little later, but I don't know who we'd order. We should order pizza. Pizza sounds delicious. I think Papa John's is close. I'd rather have Papa John's. Do you guys like Papa John's or Domino's? Look, I have the attention span of a child. How does Papa John's sound?
If they're open, that sounds great.
Papa John's closes at 11. It's 10:30. All right, I'm gonna finish telling my story, and then I'm gonna call Papa John's, and then we're gonna go. Anyway, so when I was doing the motion capture, I would fall. This is how my brain works. This is how crazy I am. I get there. It's super early. This happened literally every day. I would get there at 6:30 in the morning. I am not a morning person, but if you need me to get up, I'll get up. And I would get there, and they had a couch. They had a couch in the mocap studio. So I basically would show up, and they had to do other mocap for the other actors, and I would fall asleep on the couch. I would immediately just out. And they'd be like, Aaron, we're doing scene 47. I'd be like, all right, scene 47. And I look at the script, and I look at it. Okay, let's do it. And then I would just do the scene because I feel like Spider-Man is so my personality. I would just do it, and everyone's like, "Man, Aaron, you got Spider-Man down." I go, "I'm really just reading this as me. This is just how I would read it." And so that's pretty much we did it. And then it was great to do the poses. And what's funny is that Spider-Man. This is where I'll stand up for you guys to show you this. So they were trying to Spider-Man can't just stand there. He can't just stand there and do dialogue. I feel like Spider-Man always is on speed. He can't just be like, because sometimes he will be very like this, but he always has this sort of the way he moves and has to be he's almost like a Power Ranger in the way he moves because he's so animated. And so when you see him, he always has this sort of wait, there's a lot of movement, but then he'll also at the same time do really very normal, overly exaggerated human poses. And then he's also perched a lot. He's perched like this a lot all the time where his knees are up and you're perched. I sit like this a lot. Also a fun fact, it's a terrible fact. I sat like this so much as Spider-Man that I've actually blown out my knees. I thought I tore my what did I think? Not ACL, my meniscus. I thought I tore my meniscus because my knees are all banged up. And I went in there, and they're like, your knees are fine. Well, they're not fine. You tore your meniscus, but you just have 50-year-old knees. They're like, what have you been doing? You've blown out your knees. And I was like, well, I've been Spider-Man for 10 years. And they're like, that is why your knees are blown out. So if you ever see me at conventions, and when I stand up, you see me get whoa, my knees hurt a little bit. It's because I used to be Spider-Man with Stan and the video games, which I tell you what, that is a workout because Spider-Man is crouched, and he jumps up and crouch and jumps up and crouch. You do that I remember when doing Spider-Man, when I was doing the mocap for Spider-Man and when I was doing Spider-Man with Stan Lee, my legs were so swole. They were pretty muscular. My legs have thinned out quite a bit now because I don't do Spider-Man jumps and lunges anymore because is bad. But anyways, I did the motion capture for the games, and it was a lot of fun. And it was it's so hard crawling like Spider-Man to keep your body up that high because you have to keep your body vertical. Here's a rant that I hate. I hate this about one of the Spider-Man posters. There's a poster that Toby has where the camera's looking down at him, and he's like this. He's looking up on the wall, but he's laying on the damn wall. His chest is on it. You could tell that the actor just laid on the ground and put his hands like this. I hate it. I hate that poster. I own that poster, but I hate that poster because he's laying there. Spider-Man should be off the ground. Anyways, that's my rant, and I'm sticking to it. But I never answered what I think is the best Spider-Man game. I think it's the one that actually Amy Johnston worked on and a few of my other friends worked on, which was the most recent one, the PS4 game. That is the best Spider-Man game. My favorite one the one I played the most was the one in the late 90s, the open world game. But my favorite game is the one, of course, that I star in, is the Amazing Spider-Man game. So anyways, and So I had to do all the voice work, and then they brought in a different actor to mimic my voice, which was a really kind of a strange thing. Anyways, Slots, as Spider-Man talks to the bad guys, it's his style. I agree, Slots. I love that. I wish we did it a lot when we fought Darth Maul. I know a lot of you guys had a lot of nice things to say about me as Spider-Man in our Spider-Man vs. Darth Maul with Stan Lee, and of course my dad played Darth Sidious. So, but anyways. Who here wants to see me order pizza as the Joker?
I do. dude.
All right. So okay. So we get we're just gonna get pepperoni and green peppers, right? Extra pepperoni or just pepperoni?
And half olives.
Half olives. Ugh. He likes olives. I don't like olives. I like sausage, but I don't like Papa John's sausage. For some reason, I don't like their sausage. I like Domino's better, but Domino's is weird. I got in an argument with a guy on the phone with Domino's, and he was. I'm not gonna get into that. We'll get into that later. That's a whole big thing. But anyways, here we go, guys. Here we go. Okay. So, anyways, in conclusion, I think it's a 3-way tie between all the Spider-Mans. I think we've had a lot of great Spider-Mans. And now we're going to do Joker ordering food from.
No mention of damn fool.
Oh, God. Oh, God. We'll give him a little like honorable mention. God bless him. Here we go. You should really have root beer, but we'll have LaCroix. It's just less sugar. All right, here we go. Pineapple on pizza. Chris Thought says pineapple on pizza. Yay or nay? Here's an interesting story about this, okay? This is from The Source. Me and my dad are both Hawaiian, bloodline-wise. Hawaiian. I do not like pineapple on my pizza. That is a firm no. No. But my dad,
I love it.
He loves pineapple on his pizza. So there you go. Even Hawaiian people are up in arms and disagree on whether pineapple. That's how deep-seated the debate is on pineapple pizza. So he likes it. I don't like it. We're both Hawaiian. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Game Drop says, first time catching alive, and I'm in love with you. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely check the beatdowns out. I love it. I appreciate all you guys. I love coming on here and chatting with you guys. We're going to do some fun. Chris Doss says, your dad is awesome, so obviously Chris likes pineapple pizza.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're encouraging our culture, so our Hawaiian culture, so I like that. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But let's get on this phone call and order pizza as the Joker. This is a little dangerous, though.
They might hang up.
No, well, we'll see here. I got to make sure. All right, here we go. Let's try this here. Here we go.
I have it on speakerphone.
It's on speakerphone. Here we go. See if they answer. They might be really busy. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see if they answer here. What's up, James? Chris? Maybe they're closed.
Thanks for calling Papa John's. Can you please hold?
Oh, yes, I'll hold. No one puts Joker on hold, except the Batman. How dare they? Yeah, it's like when I call Arkham for customer service. I just get put on hold. Hugo never answers the phone.
So we'll see here. Hopefully they don't like put Smilex on our pizza. We'll see. We'll see.
You gotta keep being Joker right now.
How do I? I've been put on. We'll see how long. We'll see how long I'm on hold. I should have said, for every 10 seconds that I'm on hold, I murder someone. And by now, I would have killed tens of people. They'd be all kinds of gone.
We'll see what comes back. I really want some root beer. I think that's good. I think root beer would be good.
Joker like root beer?
I think, yeah.
Oh, what is Joker's favorite soda? What do you think it'll be?
What do you think Joker's favorite soda would be?
Grape. It's purple.
It's purple. I like.
Hi, thank you for holding. This is Natalie speaking. How may I help you?
Hello, I would like to order one large pizza with pepperoni, green peppers, and half olives, please.
All right. We're only doing delivery at the moment. Is that fine?
I don't think you deliver to our address. You don't do pickup. We could be in there very shortly.
It's because we stopped doing pickup at 10:30.
Yeah.
We stopped taking carry-out orders.
Ooh, how about you deliver it to like the McDonald's across the street from you?
To the where?
Well, basically, I think that I live outside of your jurisdiction. I live all the way at the edge of the city limits. So we'd have to do pickup. Can we just order it out? How about I have it delivered to the store next to you? There's a hookah place next to you.
Oh, there's only a smoke shop next.
Yeah, that place. Can I just have it delivered there? I'll just pick it up there. Does that sound fine? Does that
Can I
work?
have a phone number?
Yes, it's 818-555-1212.
And can I have a name?
Yes, under Jack. And that's just for one large pizza, pepperoni, green peppers, and half of it olives.
Pepperoni, green bell peppers, half of it all.
Oh, yes, that sounds perfect. And that'll be ready in about 15 minutes, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Then I will see you in 15 minutes then.
Okay.
Thank you so much. See you in a bit.
All right,
Toodles.
have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
She's like, weird. She's gonna call you and go like, he fucking lying.
I'm not lying. I really want pizza. Let's go get pizza.
I don't think we're gonna be in 50 minutes, and I don't think she's gonna call you and go, that's the wrong number.
I really want Papa John's though. I really want Papa John's. Everyone says they're dying laughing. Everyone says they're laughing in the room right now. Everyone's enjoying it. It's not a prank call. I really want Papa John's pizza. I like Papa John's crust. It's very sweet. We'll have to leave here in 5 minutes, guys. We have 5 minutes, then we got to bounce. Did you guys enjoy that? I hope you guys enjoyed that.
We can come back home and get back.
Oh, well, no, we're going to eat and watch TV.
Yeah.
We'll eat and watch TV. But, yeah, I should have been like, yeah, I know, I should have,
Where did I get these wonderful toppings?
you know, so it'd been kind of fun. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys watching the chat. You guys want more, you want more spoilers for No Way Home. I can't, I've given you enough. I've already told you who's in it. I've already told you, I think certain parts in it, certain people are disguised as other people that you may not think. But Joseph says, always awesome, Aaron. That was great. Everyone loved that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure and tip your waitress on the way out. And have a wonderful night, guys. You guys are great. If you have any last super chats, get them in right now. Get them in right now because I'm gonna bounce here in like 2 minutes. You know, you got 120 seconds. You got 120 seconds. I know I should do the Bane one.
You merely adapted the dark. I was born into it. I would like a large pizza. With extra meat lovers, I need my protein for destroying and breaking the Batman.
It'd be kind of fun. It'd be fun to do that. Anyways, guys, I'll be on earlier tomorrow. I was kind of late today. I had such a busy day, and then I'll be honest, I took a nap, and then I woke up, and then I had to take care of more things, and now I got to eat, and then I got to work. I have a lot of editing that I do. I'm up to usually 4 in the morning, so it's a lot of work. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure and subscribe to our Patreon channel. If you are a Patreon page, if you subscribe to the gold tier, you can actually Skype with me one-on-one, which is pretty cool. I have to finish off we have a bunch of people on there that do that. And I got to Skype with them one-on-one and talk, which is pretty cool. But anyways, we have a lot of great projects coming up, but we will talk about more things tomorrow. I'll be on earlier, and let's get it going. I appreciate you guys. You guys rock. Have a wonderful night, and I'm going to enjoy my pizza. I'll take another picture maybe and post it with my Joker face. So anyways, guys, hope you had fun. Take care of yourself. Stay safe out there and work out. Stay healthy. Eat your vitamins, even if they're Flintstones. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful night. Bye.